for today's cup of coffee?
Cup of coffee.
I've been all over the page.
I've been all over the toilet. Me and that toilet have become just best friends at this point.
Too much information.
Is it?
Too much information.
I don't think that's too much information because I'm not going into graphic detail. I'm just saying me and that toilet are best friends at this point.
His diabetic mama has not had a good
like
weekend.
This. Huh?
Diabetic mama has not had a good weekend. But I was like, damn, I've been all over the page this weekend. What the hell happened? And I got to look down at the little peel box today, and I'm like, oh, I didn't take my Esoterica today. That makes lots of sense. That's why I was all over the page as far as study, and just enjoyment and stuff like that. And it's just like...
You went down a rabbit hole
I went down a way long rabbit hole, which we'll discuss, but also then it was like the wonderful... Part of the ways that you bring yourself out of the rabbit hole on some of these things, music.
Yes.
Music.
It's a good way to get your vibrations up, too.
Such as John Lee Hooker and Van Morrison singing Baby Please Don't Go. They on the riverbank. Van Morrison has got one of my favorite songs of all time is Moon Dance by him. And that is just the epitome of the oncoming of autumn for me.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I don't know why. It has nothing to do really. Well, it made some place in there mention about autumn or something.
It's the essence of it.
That's
what it is.
And it's I didn't know that the man was from Ireland.
Yes?
He is. That's where I need to listen to the Professor of Rock more. He's got such a good channel. I love that type, and he talks to these people and stuff. And then letting kid see the video of the animals doing House of the Rising Sun from 1964.
That was the first time I ever got to actually see, or I've ever seen the video.
Videos weren't really a thing back then.
Like, it's just basically a live performance that was recorded in different angles.
Yeah, that was it. That or they would be on some TV show or something like that performing anybody. That's how it was back in the day.
Which it works for some songs. That's legit all you should need.
Well, we were discussing...
Because you don't need like the big theatrics all the time. Sometimes it's just simple.
Yeah. And it's how interesting that it was that you had these people that was probably 18, early 20s or somewhere through there. And everybody in the 50s and 60s, they all looked like they was 50 from time they was 10 on up.
A lot of people have said that. Why did they look so old?
I don't know. And it's just, that is just a weirdness that I have not figured out. And a lot of the people there in the 60s, everybody looks like they were an extra in Clockwork Orange.
And early 70s.
70s is
like
different
71,
on that too.
Like 71 to 72, that's when it started fading out.
Well, that's when...
Actually, it was more so around 73 and 74 is when it started to fade out, the 60s stuff.
Yeah, well, because some of that, anytime you've got a new decade, you're going to have the remnants of the old hanging on there for a while.
Yeah.
And there was just like the movies. That's why I was telling you about the horror movies. I noticed that in the 70s, and we had watched, oh my God, what is the name of the thing there? It had Bette Davis that we watched.
Oh, The Nanny.
Yeah, the name was, it's Newcastle After Dark. I love those guys. I do. And this was, I can't remember where in the 70s it was, and it was a Hammer film. Hammer made some awesome horror movies.
And it was still in black and white.
Oh, absolutely, because there is an essence to black and white like nothing else. Now, if somebody made a new movie that was in black and white, I don't know that anybody would go see it. Which is really sad.
People go see it because they saw Sin City.
Okay. So Sin
City was like a comic book.
That aesthetic,
type thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. That German, was it German Impressionism?
Yeah.
That I love so much.
In Sin City, Lady Gaga played a waitress. She had about a minute scene. That was it. And then she was never in the rest of the movie. She played a waitress. That was it.
I don't know that was necessarily a bad thing. But
No.
anyhow.
She didn't do bad.
But the other rabbit hole that I spent hours going down, there were 2 of them. And oldest kid had sent me a link to a gentleman. His name is Jimmy Akin. And he has a YouTube channel that's called Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. And he is a most interesting human. He truly is. Now, he is a Catholic apologist. Now, that does not mean that he's saying he's sorry he's Catholic. It's a matter of explaining his faith to other people. That's any kind of apologetics, which words, people do not know what they mean anymore. It's like we were just discussing Alanis Morissette's song, Isn't It Ironic? And it's like she used that word and didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, that song was all about bad luck.
But Jimmy Akin approaches some really good subjects. And if you go in there with an open mind, you can learn from this man because he is very intelligent. He's intelligent enough to where he can present information in a way that anybody can understand it.
That
is a sign of true intelligence.
Yeah.
He's not hard to listen to.
No.
And it was interesting because I had listened a couple of weeks ago that kid had sent me a link where Jimmy had spoken with Dr. Justin Sledge of Esoterica, which Dr. Sledge's channel is great. Also, if you want to go into occult knowledge from a scholarly perspective, no, he's not teaching you how to do stuff. I mean, it's a matter of the basis. Where did this knowledge come from? Is this valid? Who determined that this is how things are?
Yeah. I mean, he still educates. It's
yeah.
Yeah,
he's
not telling
hilarious.
anyone what to do and what not to do.
And I swear to you, I went back and watched. It was a 2-part interview where Dr. Sledge was explaining about Kabbalah. Or Kabbalah, whichever way I heard. I learned it as Kabbalah.
I got tripped out.
Yeah, kid I said, look, you're getting confused. Just go in the other room because I've been doing this forever.
Yeah. You can go into the hardcore knowledge. Right. If someone that's just a beginner in this shit, they go head first into it, they're going to lose their mind. So that's where if you're a new believer, you go back John 3:16, regardless of what's going on, John 3:16. And remember the little rainbow-headed man that used to be out in the football crowds. The little sign, John 3:16. That's it. It's simple. Yeah.
But within this, because I have dabbled in Kabbalah and different things like that, and to go back, and I had watched the second part first, so I went back, and the whole thing is like over 3 hours.
That's a long time.
Both videos. Well, he broke it up into 2 videos.
That's a long time.
It's fascinating.
It may be fascinating. That's a long time.
But it's also, it's one of those, straining at a gnat and swallowing a camel. When you truly go down that rabbit hole, and it's just like, these people, they've missed it.
Yeah.
But that's not even the one that I want. The ones that I want he had one that I watched today that was about this gentleman called Leo Taxil's, as far as the Masons, the Masonic revelations, as far as Freemasonry / Satanism. And I went into that, and it's like, it was fascinating.
I bet it was. I listened to a little bit.
Now, this is going to be a spoiler. I want you all to go and listen to this, because when Jimmy Akin the way he presents information is incredible. But this is going to be a discussion about his discussion. And this one guy, that he was Protestant, and he was part of a movement that was called the Free Thinkers or different things like that. And so he had written some things that were really, as far as the Catholic perspective, very offensive.
Purposefully so.
Absolutely. And so at a certain point he had determined that he had seen the error of his ways and that he had changed and that he had come back to, as far as being Roman Catholic. And so that he decided, had told people that he was part of the Freemasons and that he was going to reveal what had happened and all the satanic things, and that as far as them calling forth demons, and he had this woman that he had pictured that she was, oh God, it was one of those even more horrific because she was lesbian, and that she had called forth demons, and it was just, and I told Kid, I said, anybody who would have believed this, I said, this is just bullshit. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was so off the rails.
But people would believe it.
That I told him, I said, these are penny dreadfuls. That's exactly. And that you had these people that were these high ups within the church that believed every bit of it.
Yep.
And even there for a while with Akin, his delivery of this, and I told Kid, I said, surely he does not believe this. Because he is, one of the things is, he is a skeptic. He is a show me type of person. And so towards the end of it, it's like, this dude, this Leo Taxil, had kept up this ruse for 12 years.
How?
He didn't even tell his wife. He was this huge troll.
It was, but for 12 years.
He was committed.
He was committed.
And the day that he went in and revealed what had happened, I don't see how he got out of there alive.
Right.
I really don't.
Didn't he have to, put it in writing?
No, he didn't have to put it in writing on that stuff. But he had, the way it was presented is confirmation bias. That these people wanted to believe these horrific things about the people that were involved in the Freemasons. And so when somebody presented them stories, no evidence, they ate it up. And so that is very much a cautionary tale.
It is. That's been a theme.
It has been a theme because it's happening today. Everywhere I go through the headlines and I'm like, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Yep. Because it is the othering.
Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna, I think everybody has fallen into that trap at some point. That's when I first got on TikTok, it would get I would get
sucked into it.
Yeah, I would get sucked into it, and I would make snap judgments without actually going back and looking. And now that I look back at those comments that I made, I'm like, you should have just watched a few other people, do your own research a little bit more.
Absolutely, study and make yourself approved, and that means on everything.
Yeah,
find out who is saying whatever, what their qualifications, what research, what evidence do they have. Mm-hmm. You have to. Do not be deceived.
Right. For real.
That was what was so interesting about the interview between Dr. Sledge and Jimmy Akin, because I told Kid, I sit there and I'm like, they're flip sides of the same coin. Their cadence of speech is so similar, even as far as when they're reading, eye movements are similar. They're just this amazing similarity, even though you've got one man who is Jewish and one man who is Catholic. And it doesn't matter, because their common ground is to learn from each other, to teach each other. It's not a pissing contest as far as who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
So, therefore, it is a very informative, enjoyable exchange. Mm-hmm. The civility with each other in a world where everybody's screaming to be heard and nobody's listening.
Right.
Does that get on your nerves after a while?
Does a chicken have a pecker? Of course it does.
Another thing that I did today was I had gone, because this got yeeted off the U of Tube long ago, and that is RT News.
Mm-hmm. Russian news.
Yeah, but it is still on Rumble.
Well, that's because they allow shit. They allow other people to actually speak their mind. That's why Rumble was made, right?
Yeah. I understand that it is Russian state television. I get that. But I will tell you that it was wonderful to hear people from different nations. I heard news about things that were going on in Africa, just different parts of the globe, because the propaganda machine that's running ours, it's the same loop over and over and over.
Yeah. It's the same shit, different script. It's
not even the same script. I mean, not even it's not different script.
Well, it's just slightly reworded. That's it. Some of it. But a lot of them do run on the same exact script, and it's just pushing an agenda.
Yeah. It's that repetition, that brainwashing technique that you're supposed to repeat something. I can't remember if it was like 15 times, 21 times, or something like that before it got into long-term memory.
Do what now?
For real. It used to be in schools, when schools used to actually try to teach children that you would recite something so many times, because the school of thought at that time was that it took this many repetitions before it got into long-term memory.
That makes sense, because it's like if you're playing a video game, for example, and you have to remember a code, you say that code multiple times in your head. Or out loud.
Sure. It's like the reason that telephone numbers used to be like 7 digits was because that was the max amount that somebody could remember.
They used to be 7 digits?
Yes. Well, you knew the area code. I mean, the area code was sort of a given.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I was telling you the other day, it's just been within the past few years that you have to now include the area code in a local number, in a local call.
Okay. Huh. That's suspicious. That's weird.
Yeah, well, like but that was one of the things as far as why they were 7 digits.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's
easier to remember.
For some of us, the more they repeat this stuff, I don't care how many times you scream a lie, it's still a lie.
It's still a lie, but repeat it enough, some people will believe it at a certain point. They will just get so beat the fuck down with it.
It depends on their age.
It will start to be like, okay, is this actually true? They keep on saying this. Is this legit?
Yeah. Especially older people.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that pisses me off. Because you get to a point as far as somebody having a little bit of cognitive decline because shit, it happens, and then they've basically been put in some kind of horror planet.
Yeah.
Which is confusing. It's like kicking a man when he's down.
Those people with dementia, God love them.
Yeah.
Dementia, Alzheimer's, oof, that's a scary thing.
And these people that take advantage of people like that, I think it was Singapore that still has the practice of caning. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I really, those are wise people.
Can I just watch it? I don't want to be the one to get beat with the stick.
Well, don't do something stupid.
Well, it depends on their version of stupid. Stupid is very subjective to some people.
That one kid that was from America, and this was years ago, and I haven't heard of any other American kid going over there and doing something dumbass. He had keyed a car.
Well, that's... Listen, if it's something like that, like crime related, yeah, go ahead and cane him.
Yeah. And it was one of those, he whined and cried, and he wanted the diplomats to keep him, and it was like, now, in the end, he got his ass beat.
But if someone is parading around down the street, dancing about in a SpongeBob suit, leave him alone. Just let them be. Don't cane him.
Different countries have different laws, different rules, different regulations, and it's a matter when you go to somebody else's house, respect their house and how they do stuff.
Well, yeah, that's just manners.
Yes. And you've got a lot of people that go out and they do not. They just want to sit there and they think everybody else ought to do it like they do, because this is the bullshit, propaganda, brainwashing that's going on with a lot of these young people.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the other nations and they're like, no, we don't play that game.
Right. Right.
And then reality hits.
Yeah. The big dose of reality check.
But within this, about the Masons, and I've heard people that were high-ranking Masons that got out of it, supposedly. Any of that stuff is very titillating. You're, as far as fantasy and different things, and it's, these people are doing, they just...
What do you mean by titillating? I don't know that
itching
word.
Ears. Somebody that it's one of those...
Like it's
that
satisfying
it's
scratching the brain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because people are sitting there going, I've heard things.
It's like, this scratches my brain in the right way.
And it's like, I knew it. I knew they were like that. And they don't know jack shit. They knew what somebody said. Instead of them going and talking to people who are involved in some of these organizations. Now, I know what I have heard. I have done my own study. This is why I'm sitting there going, but if somebody else, and we've known a lot of really kind people that were part of different, societies, secret societies.
Secret societies.
And it's like, more than likely, they had no clue. That's why you don't join secret societies.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that's got something, it's like, we got knowledge that you don't have. Don't get involved in that. No.
Yeah, no.
God ain't going to be hiding nothing. He's hiding in plain sight. But it's like, we've got this and we've got that. And I read 900 and some pages of the Scientology bullshit back in the day. And I was pissed. Because that was a huge waste of my time.
Well, yeah, they
and it was just...
God,
the things
that they believe.
L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
And he made a whole religion.
Yeah.
Based around science fiction.
Well, just like this Taxil dude. He told these stories that fooled high-ranking people within the Catholic Church. And you had this one dude. It was hilarious. Oh, God, it was hilarious. He had tried to warn people. He's like, no, man, this ain't right. And so the lady that was working with Taxil, she said, the reason he says that is because he's a Mason. And they believed it.
12 years. 12 years. This thing went on.
Yeah, 12 years. It's sort of like, as far as Ballad of the Uneasy Rider.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels. Go look up Ballad of the Uneasy Rider.
Yeah.
Now, it's got some language that was back then in the 70s that we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's just where that one dude about how he had kicked old Green Teeth in the knee. And he's like, he's a commie. And these people that had known him all his life, they believed it.
Idiots.
In the story.
They knew him all his life, and yet they believed it. That's like real life. I don't get that. People will just turn.
Yeah. Why? And that's one of the things that is very, very interesting. And I've been on the receiving end of that before, and it's no fun when you didn't do anything wrong and be accused, and that nobody bothers to come to you and ask. That's hurtful.
Yeah.
How easy it is for other people to believe the worst of somebody. So that's why this with Jimmy Akin, very much a cautionary tale for today's world. And like I said, he's one excellent storyteller. He's an excellent communicator. And I enjoy listening to Dr. Sledge, some of the things that he presents. Now, it's some deep, deep stuff. Deep. So he's a little more on an academic style. But he's also younger than Jimmy Akin also.
Okay.
And it's like, and I'm back on the alchemy kick again. I need another basic alchemy book.
Do you want me to link you the song Alchemy?
No.
You could have that playing
I
on
have
repeat.
the golden chain of Homer inked on my body.
You do.
And I understand what it means.
Oh.
And I will definitely have to remind myself to take my Esoterica tomorrow because it really does help me. It's interesting when I don't take it. And I'm like, my God, I've been all over the page. From here to here, the Tenacious D was thrown in there last night. And
it was.
Else,
That was because we... what was it? Brutal Legend, the video game?
Yes.
Yeah, Jack Black.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Jack Black is awesome, though.
So,
he's just hilarious.
What did you all do with your weekend? Final thoughts, kid.
It's amazing how stupid, gullible, and sheep-like people are.
Yeah. That it's amazing.
And the fact
it's
that
scary.
It's scary in how easy it can happen to one of us.
Yeah.
Because, like, legit, it's like TikTok. Yeah. I don't know what it does something to your fucking brain. Just makes you just be like, oh, yeah, that person. Yeah, don't want it. Even though it's just like you don't know their side of the story.
Right. Frequencies and stuff like that. And it's like you've got witch hunts going every conceivable place.
Well, this one girl did a thing called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Like, literally, pathological liar, married that dude. We've only heard her side of the story, but now this has made a bunch of people suspicious about their partners.
Right.
And so they're asking them all these questions,
and then you
accusing them.
Get this mass hysteria. Mm-hmm. Which causes problems that didn't need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, even if they find out something was wrong, then what do? Some of us took those vows that we took to that other person and to God seriously. So that puts you in a totally different
and also
paradigm.
People were backing her up for the longest time until she started making money.
Uh-huh.
When she started making that coin, people turned on her almost instantly. It's that sort of shit really is scary to me.
Sure.
It is. I think that is scary to anyone that has... I don't know. It's just scary. It's scary to see.
Now, you and I both, as far as the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah, but that was scary to watch, too.
Uh-huh. But what does that tell you about humans? You give some humans will get into that role of victim very easily. We got a bunch of those right now. Then you got another one that they think that they are in a position of power and they will abuse that power. That's applied to many situations.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And that's where you have to draw yourself back. Sit there and go, no, I'm a human. You're a human. I have differences. You have differences. I will respect you until you, I expect you to, respect me. If you don't, then you need to go someplace else. That's where you set healthy boundaries.
Yeah. The thing is, people don't want to set healthy boundaries anymore. They just want to fight. I don't think a lot of people know how to set healthy boundaries.
It's because it's emotional immaturity. It truly is.
Yeah.
But that's for another cup. So, is that your final thoughts?
I think so.
Okay. If you've had experiences, what?
The brain has just been running
90 mile a minute.
Yeah.
Ooh. No signs of slowing down.
Oh God, can I get like some higher end?
You've got Esoterica too. You do.
I need to redo it all over again because I haven't took it so long. I have to start back at the lower dose and bump my way back up.
Now whose responsibility is that?
Who was I putting the blame on other than myself there?
I'm just asking. If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. That'll be in the description box, plus the links to the videos as far as Jimmy Akin, the ones we mentioned. Plus, I'll put for Dr. Sledge and Esoterica in there also.
Mm-hmm. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good. Also, read the lyrics to Californication. It really does resonate with now rather than when it came out.
Yeah, the illusion's breaking down. Yeah. I'll go back and do that. I will do that here in just a minute.
Okay.
Know that you all are loved. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the
yourself.
next cup. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.